Alright, I'm Zach Dabrowski. This is video 2, the first full briefing. First chart we're going to look at is a surface analysis chart, valid 1800 UTC, Thursday, July 5th, 2018. Starting on the East Coast, there's a high pressure system right over Virginia, a high pressure system in the western part of Tennessee. Cold front is moving through Missouri, Illinois, and Michigan, heading eastwards. There's a high pressure system right next to us in central North Dakota. There's a stationary front stretching from Idaho through Utah all the way to the Kansas-Nebraska border. In Colorado, northeastern Colorado, there's a high pressure system. And northwestern Wyoming, there's another high pressure system. Down in southern Utah and northern Arizona, there's two more high pressure systems. And right on the border of California and Arizona, there's a low pressure system. Southwestern Idaho has a low pressure system, and so does central Washington. Right off the coast of California in the ocean, there is a high pressure system, and then right off the coast of Oregon, there's a cold front coming through. This is the U.S. visible satellite chart. Right on the southeastern part of Colorado into Kansas, you have some clouds down there. In eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas, there's a few more clouds there. Down in the Gulf of Mexico, right off Louisiana and Alabama, there's some clouds there. Florida has some clouds on the eastern coast as long as the southern tip. Then stretching the coast from Georgia, South Carolina up to North Carolina, you got some clouds on the coast. And then you got some very big clouds in eastern part of Illinois all the way through Indiana. And then eastern Ohio to western Pennsylvania, there's some more clouds there. And lastly, in eastern West Virginia and southern Pennsylvania, there's quite a few more clouds over there.
This is the U.S. infrared satellite chart. This just gives you a little bit more information than the visible satellite chart by giving you the temperatures of the clouds that we were just talking about. This is the radar for the United States. In the four corners, you got some light rain throughout the area, and then you got some heavier rain in the northeastern part of New Mexico. Down in the central United States, by Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, you got some pretty light rain, but then right off the coast of Louisiana, it gets a little bit heavier. Along with Florida, it looks like there's rain throughout most of the state. When you get to the southern tip, it gets a little bit more heavy. And then western and eastern Illinois, there's some patches of pretty heavy rain. Along with central Indiana, you got some heavier rain. It's pretty light rain throughout most of Ohio. And then you got a couple bands of rain in Pennsylvania and eastern West Virginia. It gets a little bit heavier in a couple of those places also. This is the convective outlook issued 1951 Zulu on July 5th. Throughout most of the country, there's general thunder and then marginal chance for some severe weather in eastern Wyoming, Colorado, southern parts of Louisiana, and then basically Illinois up the Canadian border all the way to Maine. There is another chance for marginal severe storms. These are the air maps of the United States right now. Starting on the east coast, off the coast of Maine and Massachusetts, there is moderate turbulence from the surface to 8,000. IFR conditions in Pennsylvania, IFR conditions in the eastern part of Michigan and up through the southern tip of Canada. In the UP, looks like there's turbulence from the surface to 6,000, and then across the UP, northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and the northeastern part of North Dakota, there is moderate turbulence from 26,000 to 38,000. Down in Four Corners, kind of stretching through Colorado and more into New Mexico, there is moderate icing from 16,000 to 27,000 feet. Right off the coast of Southern California, there's some IFR conditions, and then Northern California stretching to off the coast of Washington, there's IFR conditions, turbulence from 20,000 to 40,000. And then right off the northwestern coast of Washington, there is moderate icing again from 11,000 to 16,000 feet. I'm not going to go through them all, but these are all the SIGMETs in the United States right now. There's some convective SIGMETs in Colorado, New Mexico, and then from Missouri stretching east towards Pennsylvania, there's quite a few more convective SIGMETs. And then again, off the coast of Louisiana and Florida, there's some more convective SIGMETs down there. These are the PIREPs listed in the eastern part of the country. The one I want to highlight is the one in western Maryland. It is a urgent PIREP for severe turbulence and light icing from an Embraer 145 at 17,000 feet. These are the lowest freezing levels throughout the United States. Through most of the country, the freezing level is about 15 to 17,000 feet. You have some parts of 13 to 15,000 feet freezing levels in eastern and western Wisconsin, all of Minnesota, most of North Dakota, and the very northern parts of Montana, and then through central Washington, Oregon, and California. It's 13 to 15,000 also. Right on the coast of Washington, Oregon, Northern California, it's 11 to 13,000. Then in the ocean on that coast, it gets down to 9 to 11,000 feet. Now for some local weather. This is the METAR in Grand Forks right now. 310, 5 knots, 10 miles visibility, few clouds of 4,000, temperature of 24 degrees Celsius. This is the visible satellite for our area. You can see some scattered clouds from Devil's Lake to Jamestown, but other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on. This is the radar for our area. As you can see, it does not look like we're expecting rain anytime soon. This is the low-level significant weather chart, starting for the 12-hour significant weather prognostic chart on the left side. You can see all along the west coast there's IFR conditions, and then in Colorado there's some marginal conditions, and then Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York are also marginal right now. On the right side, this is the 24-hour significant weather prognostic chart. You can see the IFR conditions continue on the west coast with marginal VFR moving inward. You got some moderate turbulence in Southern California and eastern Arizona. Marginal VFR throughout the Midwest in Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, and New Mexico. Most of Louisiana is covered in marginal VFRs along eastern Texas and southwestern Mississippi. And then from Illinois up the coast, there's marginal VFR, and then through North South Carolina and central Georgia, there's some more marginal VFR. This is the high-level significant weather chart. You start off by seeing the jet stream. It's off the coast of California, up through Washington into Canada, down below by the UP, then back up through the northern part of the east coast, up into Canada. The lowest part of the jet stream is about 20,000 feet right north of kind of New York, that area. The highest part of the tropopause is right in the middle between Kansas City and LA of 51,000 feet. The lowest part of the tropopause on this map is right off the coast of Seattle at 29,000 feet. Right in the northern part of Mexico, maybe the southern part of Texas, there's an isolated embedded cumulus cloud, 42,000 feet to tops. The bottoms are below 25,000 feet. And again, off the coast of Miami, there's an occasional embedded cumulus clouds, tops of 45,000 feet, and the bottoms are below 25,000 feet. This is the TAF for Grand Forks right now. It's predicting winds 320 at 6 knots, greater visibility than 6 miles, and few clouds at 5,000 feet. This is the winds aloft chart for Grand Forks right now. I'm not going to go through each one, but at 6,000 feet, it's about 310 at 12 knots, plus 11 degrees. You can see the freezing level is somewhere between 12,000 and 18,000, probably a little closer to the 12,000 mark. And then at 39,000 feet, winds are 280 at 66 with minus 53 degrees Celsius.